How's it going today, everybody? I know each and every one of you did the Herculean task of clicking off of South Park to come see what the Wand of the West, the Chome, the infamous Nova Online some would call him, is up to right now, because after what came out a few days ago, it's gotta be great, and of course it is. Bloodspeth here a couple of days ago, or maybe it was last week, did an interview with the guy we heard from in my previous video towards the end. At the time, I was thinking that's just another online friend who's scolding Nova, but no, it's far worse. This was an actual in real life friend. This was a guy who would go to Nova's house and like help him clean his yard, take Nova out to Dave and Buster so he could try to have a good time. Like, this dude actually knew who Nova Online was and has some great insight on him. Like, he reveals so much about Nova. Like, we all really expected this stuff anyhow. It's not like anything groundbreaking, but it really confirms a lot of suspicions about what he's been up to on a day-to-day basis, and like, it's literally what you would expect, but 10 times worse. Not only would this friend reveal about the infamous event, the one Nova Online is constantly trying to get sympathy for to this day, he would confirm that Nova made some kind of mousetrap-esque contraption for himself, which it's as ridiculous as it sounds. I mean, you would literally think this is made up if you wasn't talking about Nova Online. And then he would go on to reveal that Nova like literally couldn't get in his car. Like, he forced Nova to take a shower before he would even allow him to step foot in his vehicle. And that happened so frequently that it just basically became common to hit Nova up and be like, hey dude, did you shower yet? Something I don't think I've ever asked one of my friends, unless they've been like, hey, I'm about to hop out of the shower, come around after that. Then that's reasonable. But to be like, hey, did you take a shower yet or not, Nova? Because you just want to visit him is insane work. All that and more in today's video. I'm not going to hold you guys too long. Let's go ahead and get right into this.
So I guess, I've the comments I was reading, there's like a lot of valid concerns, because, you know, Sam Hyde shirt hanging out with the lolcow, not a great look. Definitely some assumptions are going to be made there. But I think it will be clear if you watch the live that I wasn't just somebody trying to like him over or you know, manipulate him. Like, I was talking and hanging out with him for like 8 months. I always kind of thought Nova was a little different, because I don't know, like many of you, lolcows are just kind of like an enigma to me. It's like, how does a person like this get created? I want to learn everything about them. But Nova's a little different because, at least in my opinion, or at least what used to be my opinion, I thought he was just like this sad dude who just like got a bad draw in life. Yeah, there were some other comments talking about like why, like how embarrassing it would be to, you know, tell people you're friends with Nova. So that makes sense under, like, if you think of it as like a normal friendship. But I think a better way to describe our relationship is like how well can an adult be friends with like a 13-year-old? Like, an adult can like value a 13-year-old and can like want the best for a 13-year-old, but can you actually have like a adult friend connection with like somebody who's in that headspace? And I think the answer most people will determine is like no. Like, you can't really get a symbiotic friendship with people who are like at that drastically of different places in their life. So though I like would call Nova a friend, it's obvious that he understands like what's good and what's bad, because he calls out his own behavior all the time. Like, he's constantly talking about like, oh, I'm a fat, like, oh, I need to clean, oh, I need to do this, like, oh, talking to is bad. But then in the same breath, he, you know, does all of those things. So it's like, I think it's either, you know, maybe he is just like in this unfortunate headspace where like, I don't know, he has this like polarization to his behavior versus his thoughts, or maybe he just is like a manipulative person who intentionally is lying to, you know, creates this false identity that he wants to project.
You know, I can see a lot of people criticizing this man's actions, but, you know, I think it's actually a good thing. We had somebody come along who believed that they could change the Chome, who thought, you know what, this guy looks like he's getting the short end of the stick, and no, I'm not talking about the video he just released. He's like, you know, Nova, he might be able to change. I'm gonna be the man who attempts to try and do it. And it just completely backfired on him, because, listen, Nova will never change. Nova will always be the same. You could give Nova $1 million right now, and the only thing that would be different in his life would be the mountain king size of trash that he would build up. He would basically be the largest landowner of garbage dumps in America, maybe in the world, and he wouldn't even be attempting it. He would just accomplish it on his own, and maybe a ton more Genshin outfits. You would see this man walking around in some of the strangest attire of all time. Just imagine if Nova had an ego and thought he was better than everyone else because he got a little bit of change. Dude would be wearing Genshin outfits 24/7, diapers on full display. I couldn't even imagine it. And now, thanks to this guy, never ever can somebody come and say, like, look, nobody ever tried with Nova, because this guy did more than try. He bent over backwards. I mean, basically snapped in half to try to get Nova to change, and he just kept running into a brick wall. You know, I don't know this guy's name, but you could probably just start calling him Wiley. The amount of times he has ran into a brick wall trying to communicate with Nova, or just simply steer him in the right direction. But as he said, Nova Online is a big manipulator. Like, you wouldn't really see that in Nova. If you was just looking at him, you had really no idea about him. On the outside, Nova looks like just a regular goofy guy, to be honest with you, but on the inside, there's some real degeneracy going on in there. And Nova, he'll sit there and tell all of his online friends, the ones that aren't down with the degeneracy, that, hey, you know, I've changed, I'm not like that anymore. But the only thing getting changed is his diaper in the middle of the night after he clicks off the call, because he's instantly rushing to his DGen friends. Who knows how long he was in that one strange Discord server, we really don't know, and soak it all up and I guess have a great time with whatever he's doing. But whenever it comes to the public eye, like, no, none of that is happening. I swear on everything. Until the next Discord leak comes out, then it's just completely ignore it all. It never even happened, I guess, and then just move on. And that's exactly what Nova's doing currently. You haven't heard him mention South Park at all.
First question I want to ask is, how'd you meet Nova?
So yeah, like I said, I had seen his videos, I think, for like a year and a half, and it like made me legit sad. So I had emailed him a few times because his email was like, or at least it was like stapled to his TikTok.
Oh, it still is.
And he never responded to any of those. On this is a little sad. I don't take any pride in this, but on Cameo you can like send a message for $1. So after like 2 months of waiting to him reply to like the 1 or 2 emails I sent, I was like, you know what, I'll just message him on Cameo. Never got back to me. Never gave me back that $1 either. So I'm just gonna go drop off like a letter. If he responds, he responds. If not, whatever. And his response to that was to immediately make a video on the letter, and I don't necessarily agree with that video. I think it was a poor decision. I don't want to give too many details about it because of the poor decisions in it, but and then after that we just started talking. I wanted to like open up prove that I was actually trying to help him, so I like saw that his lawn was like totally overgrown, like 4 feet tall in the front. So I was like, hey man, like I can help you with that. Like your lawn's not large. Like this is what friends do. Like let me help you with this thing that's obviously a daunting task. So that was really like the intro to us actually being like in-person friends. I think that an experience of having like an adult, legitimate, like healthy friend is important. Like, because now for everything else he does in the future, like he won't have the excuse of like, oh, I had no one to help me.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, you did, dude. Like you had me. I was there for almost a year. Like trying to give you advice whenever you needed it or would ask for it. Like trying to help you with like random little shit, like taking you to the store, like helping you with your lawn twice, like taking him out on little excursions just to make sure he gets out of the house. I think we went to the arcade like 4 or 5 times. So yeah, I'd do it all again just because I don't like, otherwise he would just be able to say like, oh, I've never had someone to like help me or guide me, which is just a lie. When I would take him to the arcade a few times, it was like, it's very interesting how his mind operates. Like I met him the first time, he wouldn't even look at me. Like he wouldn't even look me in the eyes, and I was like helping him with his lawn. And I'm not like a passive person. I address stuff like that. So within like the first 5 minutes, I was like, why aren't you making eye contact with me? Like, why are you looking at the ground?
Mm-hmm.
And he told me like, oh, I'm really nervous. I don't like hang out with people that much. And I was like, oh, okay. But then like later we go to like the arcade like a couple weeks later, and I'm having to tell him to like stop screaming because he got like the bonus on the coin machine or something. So it's like this weird dichotomy of like super nervous, but also like totally unaware of how he's projecting his presence. I mean, and that extends to his hygiene, obviously. Like I'm saying, hey, dude, you're inconveniencing like yourself, everyone around you in public, and you're doing literally nothing about it. Even though like me and like my other few friends who out with him a few times are all saying like, dude, this is not good. Like this isn't healthy. It's disgusting. You know?
I see. And
So that was my first impression. Just like interested how like he can be so loud and maybe obnoxious is a unkind word to use, but I think it's also correct.
yeah,
But while
man.
also being like super shy with real humans.
This guy over here played the entire game of Jumanji just to get a hold of Nova Online, and Nova just ducked him 100% every single time. Could you imagine sympathy baiting to the level that Nova Online does on the internet? Always talking about how you wish someone would befriend you, how you wish you could just have someone to talk to about your problems, and then when someone is making so much effort to contact you, you just completely ignore them. Now let's not get this mistaken at all. I mean, of course, there's like a degree of you if you're Nova Online, like trust nobody. There is nobody in the world that you should trust over anything. But especially when this guy starts giving you like dollar messages like, hey dude, I'm really trying to improve your life. Like I sent you some emails, some letters. I'm not saying to get into contact with me necessarily, but you know, maybe I can help you out a little bit. Wouldn't you, if you was in the dire situation that Nova is, like possibly consider like, what does he have going for me, or what does he have going that can help me at the very least? Because think about it, if you go into it with like a genuine approach to change and better your life, like there's nothing he can really get you with. Like if he starts trying to be weird and catch you up and stuff, and like your approach is to genuinely better yourself, what can he truly get you with? Nothing really. He would look like the weirdo if he turned on you. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention it, like, how are you gonna make somebody pay an entire dollar to you just to send a message and you not respond to them back? That's so rude. Like, I couldn't imagine making somebody pay $1 just to send me a message, but I literally couldn't imagine not responding to them. Like, well, they're on my time right now, buddy. It's like, no, they're just asking you a question and they wanted to know so bad they put $1 behind it. At least take the time out of your day, Nova, to send a message back. I mean, it's the least you could do. But Nova's just not responsible at all. Like, he has no gumption about him whatsoever. He has no motivation to do anything except act like a weirdo on Discord. Like, that's all it seems to be. Because how is your grass gonna be like 4 feet tall? Like, I imagine the guy's like exaggerating a little bit, but it was probably really high. And we know probably why that was going down. This dude says he's been friends with Nova about 8 or 9 months. So that means Drew would probably either be passed away or maybe in the hospital. I really don't know their timeline, but I would say that's probably where it's cemented. So Uncle Drew is in the hospital or passed away at this point. The only reason Nova's mom's grass was getting cut whatsoever. And when he stops, Nova doesn't even start. He's not like, all right, it's time for me to take up some responsibility. He's like, nope, screw that stuff. Forget about it. Mom can do it. I mean, she can protect me from intruders. I mean, she can cut her own grass. And when I finally heard Nova Online's mom, it surprised me. I thought she might have been in her 40s, something like that, early 40s. But no, she sounded kind of elderly. Sounded like she was in her early 60s, maybe her mid 60s. She can't be out there cutting the grass. Nova, you're a 20-year-old man. That you should be doing that stuff. Most 13, 12-year-olds, maybe even younger than that, like start thinking, hey, I wonder if I offer to cut the grass for my parents, if they'll give me like $5. And then they start doing that, and then maybe some of them expand that a little bit, go to the neighbors and things of that nature. Why does it take some stranger off the internet to come along and be like, hey dude, to befriend you, let's get this mess all cleaned up? I'm surprised he didn't find Narnia under that thing.
When you guys went out in public, has anyone ever commented on it, or maybe like shown a reaction, like walking past?
No, oh, yeah. So there was one time I can't, I don't know for sure if that's what they were acting from, but I was certain enough to make a comment to another person we were with. But there was one time we were at an arcade and we were walking by someone and someone said, "Do you smell that?" So I'm pretty sure other people had noticed, but I can't be certain that they were talking about him, but I also don't know what else would elicited that response. So I'm like 99% sure. So within like the first couple of weeks, like once it was apparent that like me and Gabriel were probably gonna have like somewhat of a long-term friendship, I asked him about all the like the binky stuff and the age regression stuff because it needed to be addressed, and he was very adamant immediately about how he looked down on that behavior, how it was like just something for him to, connect with other people. So that's kind of how he explained that. He said he doesn't think it was healthy. He looks down on that. He like understands how it could be harmful to minors and how like he would never do that again. So when you showed me all that stuff, it was just like, what, like either this guy's like a complete idiot or he's just a liar. Like there's really no other way to look at it. So it was a little jarring. Again, it wasn't super like I'm aware that this was always a potential outcome, but it was definitely not good. I did not feel good about that. As I say in the phone call, like at the end, it's like even if I was somehow could justify that behavior to remain friends with him, like I can't justify like associating with him, like. I don't want to be like associated in any form with a person who has like all this legitimate evidence out about them, like even if I could or wanted to be friends. So it really was like the decision was made for me to not be a part of his life anymore. But I don't know how many times I told him like, hey man, like you doing like a 18-minute Fortnite stream like is not conducive to like anything good. Like who's logging in to watch you play Fortnite for 18 minutes? Like why are you only playing for 18 minutes? Like is that literally all you can handle before like you get bored? Like that's not good. And again, I iterated so many times like how lucky he is to like be born into a person who like for whatever reason is like extremely captivating to a large group of people, like how well he could monetize that. Like he could save his mom and himself today if he just started like making smart like business and financial decisions. He just doesn't actually care. So usually his excuses would be given in the frame of like, it's not that it's an excuse, it's just that I haven't taken the action yet, but the action is going to be taken. Like that is usually how he was framed. So it's like, yeah, I'm like eating unhealthy now, but like all I need to do is start dieting. Or like, yeah, like I'm not very strong now and I can't really move properly some days, but like I'll be working out in the future. Or like his driving, like he doesn't have a license. That was something I would hit on a lot, just because like you can't really be a functioning adult in this area without a driver's license, and especially with him always talking about like wanting to DoorDash for an income. At what point do you just accept that there's something else happening and you just don't want to do it? So that was usually where the conversations would end. He would like make some excuse while like giving himself the satisfaction by believing like, oh, I will actually do this, and then like he'd forget about it, or maybe he wouldn't forget and he just didn't care.
Nova Online must have a fierce reputation going around town. I mean, he's basically SpongeBob off the Sunday episode 24/7. People just start lining up, rows upon rows, as Nova walks down the crowd. He must think he's super TikTok famous. Little does he know they're just scurrying for shelter to get away from him. This guy probably had a nose clip fastened to him 24/7. It's probably a little fortunate for everyone else around him that this dude was getting Nova to have a little bit more effort on the hygiene. Who can wake up and not say, I am feeling super grimy today, and not immediately go to the shower and brush your teeth? These are normal things that might not even take you an hour out of your morning routine, and it's already over with. Some people, they take like 5-minute showers, brush their teeth, over in 15 minutes. Nova, at the very least, that's what you could could be doing with your life. 15 minutes and making drastic improvements. But you won't even pick up your arm to throw some garbage away because I guess you're immobile at some points. You're just slowly turning into a rock statue. Like in history, when they're going back down through Idaho and this huge dump pit is just lying there, in the very center is just going to be a solid statue of Nova Online. They might think it's fake at first, might think it's not real. Someone chipped away at him, was like, I wonder why he's so infamous or famous enough to deserve this statue. No, he just perfectly preserved himself somehow. Through garbage and laziness, he might be one of the very few to ever achieve that. Self-mummification. But who am I kidding? That'll never happen as long as Discord and other weird apps are perfectly available to him. That will be the only drive for him to even muster enough energy to get out of bed. I mean, think about it. This guy is sitting there telling people who are like talking to him like, hey, listen, all that stuff is in the past. I was never really into it. I just got roped into it by some other people. I just wanted to seem cool because, yeah, that definitely makes you seem cool, Nova. 100%. Goodness gracious. But he's like, yeah, I just wanted to fit in with the quote-unquote cool crowd on Discord, so that's why I did it. While in the same breath, probably chatting up someone else, some degenerate stuff, and not even considering that these people who might just want to help you might have not a single clue about your online activities. I mean, I know it could be rare, but it's a possibility. You're just going to potentially ruin their entire reputation by being involved with you. That's some real scumbag behavior. Apparently your motto is everything will get better tomorrow, and then the next day comes and the motto is still in place, it'll get better tomorrow. But other people just don't have time to deal with that. They're gonna better and improve their life no matter what you're up to. So when they discover this about you and they drop you immediately, please don't run to the internet like, oh, I just cannot keep any friends. I cannot do it. This is ridiculous. But still having all this insane degenerate information out about you and not trying at all to change yourself.
During the summer when I was like helping him with his lawn, he showed like a small amount of motivation to like do things on his own. Like I remember suggesting like, hey man, these weeds are so long, like I don't even think you can get them with a mower. Like I said, like if I were you, I'd probably just buy a scythe just because it would probably be less total effort to just like cut it all down first. And he did do that. He did buy a scythe.
He bought a scythe.
He bought a scythe.
Wow.
He did do that.
If I'm not mistaken, you were kind of the one who encouraged it or gave him that idea. If you want to tell us more about that.
So I had been hounding him on his hygiene for like, I mean, basically our whole relationship, but I was really hounding on it for like a couple weeks prior to that, the shower saga starting. And that was due to the fact that we started like, I think it was just we hung out with him like 2 or 3 times within like a month, which was like the most dense like amount of little outings we had. And we had to start telling him like, dude, we're not going to let you in our cars anymore if you like aren't washing your clothes and you aren't bathed. Like we can tell when you don't, like we can tell instantly. So I think that is what kind of made me want to start hounding on him more. Mm-hmm. But I ended up calling him and like right when I woke up, and he picked up and we talked for like an hour. And I was like, I basically just said like, dude, everyone in the comments of this video is saying like, you're gross, like you're greasy, like your house is a mess. And I'm like, can you say any of those comments are even wrong? Like, I understand you read them and you don't like them, but like, you need to actually internalize like, why are they saying these things? And then like, look at yourself and your surroundings, and you'll probably come to the conclusion like, oh, all these people are right. And so that was like an hour-long phone call. He was crying and stuff. And so towards the end of the phone call, I basically said like, dude, literally just tell me what I need to do. And this is almost verbatim. I said, just tell me what I need to do for you to shower today. And I was like, Yikes. I'll do like, you tell me what it is, I'll do it. And so I was like, I asked him like, are you not showering because you have like a difficulty standing? Like, do you need like a chair for the shower? Like what is it? What is the hindrance for you to not shower? And, he didn't really answer any of those questions, but once he heard Bluetooth speaker, he got a little excited, and he was like, yeah, I'll shower if you get me a Bluetooth speaker. So wow. I said, okay, man, I'm I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna buy you a Bluetooth speaker. And by the time I get to your house, you're gonna be showered, right? So when I first met him, I wasn't trying to be a weirdo, so I got him some gifts too, just because it was also his birthday, coincidentally, like a couple days prior. So I didn't want it to I got him like candy, and I didn't want it to melt in his mailbox because it was like 95 degrees out. So I ended up just like leaving it on his door and knocking, and he opened the door before I was even down the steps. So I met him then, like basically immediately, and I just explained like, oh, this was not my intention. I was just leaving you like a gift and a letter. Like he seemed hesitant, and I can understand why. Like you have a stranger at your door, like giving you things. So I mean, I think that's how most people would act. But
that's fair. That's fair.
You guys know 100% how Nova opened that door. He was going to hit this dude with, "Get off my property! This is Nova Online, Nova Core business only. You gotta have permission to be here." And then he saw some chocolate and he turned into that one guy of the SpongeBob episode, "Chocolate? I love chocolate. Give me the chocolate." And he's like, this guy's gonna be a good friend of mine. Basically pulled a Tofiachu. Like, hey, if you're gonna be giving me candy, we can hang out. We can certainly start chilling. You want to cut my grass too? This is crazy. This guy's basically going to my every whim, and now I'm basically playing a video game with him. Nova Online's doing side quests for gifts. He's like, "Oh, you want me to take a shower?" Well, no, I'm not going to shower. And the guy's like, "Well, I'll give you a Bluetooth speaker." And negotiation skills bumped up by one entire point. Nova was like, "Wait, this is what I can get by showering? Yes, I will shower." Dude goes, gets the Bluetooth speaker, and Nova Online, he was trying to put his manipulation skills to work. He didn't even do it. He's like, "Well, I was thinking about it, but I do need a waterproof phone case to get this as well." And another point bumped up in manipulation because this guy goes and gets him a waterproof phone case, and Nova only commits to it for like 4 or 5 days. That's all he could get out of him, was like 4 or 5 days, and the dude probably spent, I would say, at least $70 on it. That's so wrong, Nova. But I mean, he had to do these side quests and get all of the nice key items, because as soon as this dude was coming to cut his grass, Nova Online turns into the Grim Reaper. He's got that build going, a full-on necromancer. He'll be standing in the middle of his road. "You thou not path," the evil version of Gandalf. Maybe that's why the grass is so tall. Maybe that's why the garbage is piled up so much. He's got to hide his experiments. But I just think it's so funny that instead of a weed eater, the guy suggests a scythe. So either the guy like expects Nova to have no funds to be able to purchase a weed eater, instead he's got to go for the scythe, or whatever he's staring at was so monstrous, so tall, so bad that he's like, "Man, I don't even think a weed eater would get this done. Too many wires, too expensive. I don't think it could cut through it. You need a good old-fashioned scythe, Nova." And Nova, he thinks this is a great idea. He legitimately goes and buys a scythe. Now, one, for potentially cutting the grass. I don't know if he even did it. And two, to intimidate the trolls. He's basically turning into Sticks and Hammer. But nonetheless, what it really does for me is put a great mental image of Nova Online dressed as a Grim Reaper, warding off the trolls with his scythe.
So that was the first time you met. Was the second time when he went to clean his yard?
Yeah, so I think what we did, it was either 2 separate times, and I'm mixing them up, or I'm pretty sure it was one time, but I helped him with his backyard specifically, and then I took him out to a restaurant he mentioned he liked a lot, like right after. No, I know for certain that's what happened, because I remember I couldn't breathe because of my allergies.
I see. And were you able to go inside?
Yeah, we ate inside.
Inside the house?
Oh, in his house? No, I was never allowed in his house. That was made very clear from the start. Like very clear.
By who?
By him. And then when I met his mother, I only met her twice. And I think the first time was when I was helping him with the yard. She was going to some appointment or running some errand. So she was pulling out of the driveway, or maybe she was pulling it. No, yeah, she was leaving. And as she was leaving, I stopped what I was doing and walked up to her car. and like introduced myself. And Gabriel eventually walked up to me, and she didn't really say like anything to me. She almost like, because I think I just said like, "Hey, my name is whatever. Like, I'm just here to help him with the yard and stuff." And she like looked past me kind of, and then like looked over at Gabriel and said like, "He's not allowed in the house."
Have you ever, I know you're always like trying to give him, you know, advice on stuff. Have you ever kind of confronted him directly, specifically on the state of his house on the inside, the trash and whatnot?
Yeah, many times, many times. Because a lot of time, because again, I'm a big honesty person, just because like, especially in a relationship like this, like if Nova's lying to me, it indicates that he's doing it because, you know, he's ashamed. And I think shame is very important. Like you can't, shame is not an inherent part of our psyche so we can like hide away from it. It's to motivate us to be better. It was very common for him to say like, "Oh, I've been really busy cleaning." And I would always call him out like, "No, you weren't. Like your house is like what, 1,300 square feet maybe? Like how realistically, imagine you have a 1,300 square foot apartment and it's literally like 6 inches deep with trash. Like how long is that going to take you to clean? It's not going to take 2 weeks. It will maybe take like a few days if you're like working on it. But like again, Nova, he's not employed. Like there's no reason. Like so it was very apparent that he wasn't. And also you can just see the trash in his videos, so it's like he's obviously lying.
You were seriously concerned about like the legality and specifically like how dangerous his the state of his home was, like with the stove and the trash on it. Have you ever kind of, well, I know you did confront him on that. Did he ever have any response or explanation?
The legality side of it, not really. Like again, it's when a lot of it seems like when you try to broach serious topics with him, it's either a defense mechanism or again, it's just like an attempt to manipulate because he doesn't give a but he would just like listen, be silent, and then like hope it passes. Like we swap to the next subject. But you know, I said to him multiple times like, "Dude, you're violating, like the scent is a code violation, the vehicles is a code violation." Here's another thing that really I think paints a good picture of like how his mind functions. There was one day where he was complaining about his computer not working, and he said like, "Yeah, I'm gonna just make an appointment with a Geek Squad." And I'm like, "Well, what did you try to fix it?" And he's like, "Nothing." And I was like, I think I said like, "Is it possible you like pushed your desktop and like you flipped the PSU switch off? Like, have you checked the PSU switch is still on?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, are you gonna do that?" And he's like, "I already made the Geek Squad appointment." And I was like, "Dude, what? Like you could fix this issue so easily. Like it's, you know, what's that quote? Like, we've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas."
The two lolcows Nova Online likes the most, and when I say like, I mean the two that he inspires to be, is Daniel Larson and Chris Chan. He used to watch a ton of videos about them, and he still does to this day. Tofiachu comes in at number 3, but I just can't tell if he likes her or likes the content about her, so I don't even know if we should mention her. But when it comes to Chris Chan, when he was watching Geno Samuel's entire documentary, instead of all of us just been in shock and awe how it could be this bad, how things could go this bad for one single person, and then you discover there's multiple people like this. But Chris Chan is a prime example because I think a lot of us had the same experience. But Nova Online, he sit there and watched it too, but instead of seeing it as something you should probably just not do on the internet, he used it as like a roadmap and he followed it every single step of the way. I mean, he's so close from getting a Bob Chandler storming into his room as his mom proclaims that he's turned on his family, and I pray on everything that she doesn't storm through that door after he clicks off of South Park. That's going to be a traumatic event for both of them, especially when she figures out he's using her wand. What am I saying? She probably already knows this. But in all reality, like no kidding aside, the dude's not mistaken. The dude's not wrong. He's 100% right. If someone actually cared enough and went and looked looked at their house, they would probably get in trouble. I'm not saying they would get condemned immediately, but they would probably be given a time period where they've got to fix this or they've got to move. So Nova, he should be taking precaution right now and just fixing this. Like the guy said as well, Nova doesn't have a job. He rarely looks for one, and whenever he does put in applications, I guess they're denied or he doesn't finish them, who knows what, but either way, he's not getting a job, so he should be cleaning his house, making his home a better place to live in. For his mom, at the very least for his mom. He doesn't have to do it for himself, but for his mom, that would just, it's what most people would do.
But yeah, so basically, Christmas Day, I think like 4 or 5 p.m., like a couple of us were like playing games in our little Discord server, and he comes in and he says something to the effect of, well, this Christmas is ruined. And, you know, obviously we're all like, what do you mean? What's going on? And he says, like, my brother's in the hospital, an artery in his heart ruptured. And I'm like, oh my God, like, Jesus Christ, like, that's terrible. Like, is he gonna live? Like, is he stable? Like, what's going on? Is he in surgery? And he says something like, I don't know. I'm trying to text him. And I said, are you gonna go down and see him? Where does he live? And he told me it was like somewhere in California. And then the thing that tripped me up immediately is I was like, so are you like looking at flights? And he's like, no, I don't have a star card. And yeah, I'm not gonna go see him. It got really weird when he started giving us more information. And I was like, how are you getting all this? Like, how are you hearing about all this if your brother's in, like, because he also said he was in a coma. I was like, how are you getting all this info if your brother's in a coma? And he told me the doctor has his phone and has been texting me. And I was like,
My goodness.
dude, what? And I remember, I was like, wait a minute. And I remember scrolling back up in the Discord to like see when he first started talking about like specific info. And it was like 2.5 hours. And so I'm like, dude, you think the doctor just has your brother's phone and has just been like hanging out, texting you on it for 2.5 hours? Like, you have to understand how insane that is. Like, that's not real. Like, there's no, like, in some universe where that's real, like that doctor is like, they're not going to be a doctor for very much longer if they're just stealing patients' phones, cracking their password and texting their friend or brother. So then I started wondering, like, is Nova lying to me? Is this guy lying to Nova? And once I started prying more, he said, I need to tell you something. And I said, what? And he said, he's not actually my brother. He's just a really good friend. And so then I said, well, how long have you known him? And he said, 2 years.
Wow.
So, and then it was like the next day or 2 days later, I was like, oh, how's your brother? And he's like, oh, he's out of the hospital, back at work. And I'm like, dude, you're not going to have an artery in your heart rupture and then just be back at work.
I was aware that Nova Online had taken a liking to Cyrax somewhere along the line. I mean, there was no other reason he would come into my stream and start defending him for no reason whatsoever, unless he did. But I had no idea he was so Cyrax coded. I mean, Nova's sitting there telling complete strangers in the Discord, yeah, my brother, something bad happened to him earlier today. Oh, wait, I'm Nova Online. Yeah, so my brother for 2 years. 2 whole years, bitch. I knew him forever. Nova's pretending like he had such a good relationship with this guy who he only met over the internet, and he's calling him his brother. That's probably something to do with some weird stuff. Maybe some daddy butcher material, if you guys understand what I'm talking about. White Bowser-ish. I've never had a friend I've wanted to call my brother, or just tell random strangers that they are my brother. No, I don't have a brother. I mean, if I did, that would be the only person I ever told people that. Especially when this guy is just willing to lie to you about some of the most crazy things ever. Like, something bad happened to my heart earlier. Don't worry, I'm in a coma right now, and this is actually the doctor talking to you. Yeah, I might get fired from my job later, but this guy right here, he's such a solid stand-up patient. I just had to get this done. So yes, Nova Online, infamous internet figure, he's gonna be okay. I'm an expert at my craft. And Nova Online just sitting there, Well, yeah, this makes perfect and total sense. Next time I'm in the hospital, I'm going to make sure the doctor's texting all of my internet trolls. Make sure he's letting them know what's going on. They need to know this kind of stuff. What a service they provide. It's so crazy after years of dealing with this kind of stuff, he's just willing to believe something like that, especially the 2-day recovery. That's so wild.
I like noticed Nova wasn't like being active in the Discord for a while, so I kind of assumed like he was like talking to other people, whatever. So I like started messaging him privately, like, "Hey, what's up? Like, what have you been up to?" Or maybe it was like he got a gift. He said like a fan sent him a gift, and I asked him about it. I can't recall exactly, but that's when he explained like, "Oh yeah, I've been talking to Hawaii, this new guy, for like a couple of weeks. Like, he's been sending me this stuff. Like, we've been talking in Discord," and I was immediately concerned. Just because like, oh, I hope this isn't someone like just trying to get like in with Gabriel to like f his life up, which I mean, sure enough, that happened.
What kind of gifts did he get for Nova?
So I think he bought him for sure Pokemon cards. I'm like pretty sure the like Hawaiian gummies that he got a while ago were from him. I'm pretty sure the like carbonated circle bottle is from him, but that one I'm not sure about. But I think it's fair to assume that a lot of the little gifts he was saying were being sent by fans in that period were from him. The Dave and Buster's like just opened near us, and he was like really excited, like he wanted the rope drop opening day effectively. And so we go eventually, and we get there and we like eat first, and he's like really excited, like looking over at the games, and he orders like trout or salmon or something. It was like some fish dish from Dave and Buster's, which is already like strange in my opinion. At least myself and maybe a lot of other people kind of assumed that, oh, this guy is like down on his luck. He's like this goofy little dude. He's probably kind. It's probably just he's just got a bad shake, but you know he's pretty. I think it's unintentional, but he's pretty rude to like other people out in public, and I usually try to correct it, but that was when like he tried to wave over a busser because he was like concerned about like playing games, like what we were gonna do with his food or something, or he wanted to check like right now so we could immediately go play games, but he'd only eaten like a third of his salmon or whatever. And so he like starts waving over a busser, and I'm like, don't do that, please don't do that, like just wait for our waiter, like she's gonna come by like any minute. Of course the busser's like already coming. The second she gets to the table, instead of being like, oh, never mind, he goes like, can we get the check, and also like where can we put our food? And I'm like putting my hands to my head, and the busser's like, oh, I'll get your waiter, you can ask them. And then I'm like, dude, like, one, that's not her job, like two, they're not gonna store your leftovers here. Three, like they're Dave and Buster's like trout leftovers. Like you shouldn't want that, really. Waiter comes over. Sure enough, he asks the waiter anyway, like, hey, can we keep can I keep my leftovers in your fridge? And they're like, I'll ask if that's like a thing we do. And they're like, no, we can't do that. And so he's like, oh, I'll just put it in your car. But this was like it was like 95 degrees. Like it was really hot that day. So I'm like, dude, how long do you think we're gonna be here? How hot do you think my car is gonna get? Like, so the if you guys remember the like milkman video with like the 17 gallons of milk.
Oh.
That was us just doing a little prank on Nova, and I can prove it because no one's ever pointed this out. But if you look at the like first couple of frames of the video, you can like see me with my like phone covering my face like over the back seat of the car. So that's also some lore. The 17 gallons of milk but that was just a harmless little prank, so I didn't feel too bad about that.
Do you want to tell us a bit about that, or?
I mean, have you seen that video?
No, I know, but like, I guess the story, what kind of made you guys, like, what brought up the idea, what, made you guys do it?
We were just really bored one day and like couldn't think of anything to do, and like, oh, what if we like, originally it was gonna be like watermelons, but I was like, that's not that funny.
And does he know it was you?
No.
I guess he's finding out now. Wow.
Yeah, now he does.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, out of all the things, that's probably I hope, the bottom of the list of things he's upset with me about. But
Little did this guy know, Nova Online is very inspired by South Park. In fact, it inspired his most recent degenerate event. But he mainly took some influence from when Cartman was a Yelp reviewer. He's like, that's basically me. I have so much power as a TikTok food reviewer. I can basically shut a place down. So this guy didn't even know that when he's out at a restaurant with Nova, that it's serious business. This just isn't a casual trip where you might get some good food, play some video games at Dave & Buster's. No, this is a serious time in Nova's life where he must critically review this place. There's a reason he wanted to scope it out. This is his job, buddy. You're sitting there telling him that he needs to improve upon himself. Well, this is how he does it. He's got to order 5 meals from Dave & Buster's, and then when they bring out the bill, he's going to pull a bubble bath, the pickles under the tongue, whatever he's hiding anywhere on his body, and then he's going to get some free food. You just don't know the game that he plays. So of course those waiters better rush to his aid. Of course the bus boy better do it as well. And all jokes aside, it makes perfect and total sense that Nova is this kind of person when he's out and about. He is demanding, he's rude. You can see it written all over him once you get the idea. He's already got the Karen look. He may as well live the lifestyle. But I guess that's enough for me today, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking over from South Park to watch this video. And if you ended up enjoying it, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow all the socials down below, leave a comment, use the new hype feature, and I'll catch you guys next time.